Alright, let's start with yesterday's trades and current positions. This Twilio, I've been talking about this one before. Had an analyst upgrade yesterday and it gapped up. I bought it on the opening range highs here at 30 bucks. And I knew about this 50-day at 30.40. So it's a very strong resistance, as you saw. It got rejected perfectly. The 50 days at 30.40, the stock hit 30.37. It slammed down, took out the lows of the day. I got stopped out. So it same thing happened here. You know, the 50-day moving average held almost perfectly and just got slammed back down. But then later in the day, it started perking back up. We're putting some kind of a higher lows, and I bought it when it took out this intraday range here with a very tight stop. My stop is basically here, low 29.60s, and it closed fairly strong. So I have a smaller position than I had earlier in the day. And I really think this thing, the risk reward is really good. My risk is what, 20-25 cents on the position I have on right now to potentially make, I don't know, $5. You know, it takes out this 50-day, it can easily go to 35 or something. MBLX is unrelated. This one is starting to really set up well. I'm kind of excited about this one. If it breaks out, has a breakout through this high 15s with some volume, I will probably double up my position that I have from here, or my partial position, that is. PTLA holding up very, very well. As you can see, it dipped intraday yesterday near the open, but held a higher low. So it breaks this 27.80 area, can really go to 30 or something. Fannie Mae also dipped intraday, holding higher lows all the way. Looks really good. Takes out this 435, 440 area, you know. Can go to, well, higher. CNX, I actually got back in short when it, not when it went red, but when it looked like it was about to go red here, 15.45 or so. So it faded off nicely, found some support, grinded back higher later in the day, but I decided to keep it overnight, and I'm gonna use the highs of the day as my stop. So I still kind of like it as long as it holds below this 15.80 area. As you can see, put in a double top on the 60-minute chart. It is putting in higher lows, but you know, it's kind of 50-50. Goes higher or lower, I don't know. This one put in another higher low, dipped midday. You know, as you can see, higher lows all the way. Now my stop is definitely here in the high 16s. Kala, another one. It dipped early in the day, held a higher low. Takes out this 725 area, it goes to 8 or something. DRYS was my main trade. Now this one, I'm up like 50 grand or so, or 45 grand in the past 3 sessions on this thing. And the funny thing is, I've never really been trading its size, except for the first buy I did a couple of days ago when I bought it here in a very low twos when I had 40. That was the only time I had size. After that, I've never really had more than 10-15,000 shares of this thing. So I bought it yesterday. Let's look at the 1-minute chart. So it gapped up. I didn't held any overnight this time. Gapped up. It crapped out of the gate. I bought some here on the dip, 540. I only bought 3,000 small shares. I really hope this thing would fade back to low 5s or maybe even high 4s to add to a 10-15,000 share position. So this 3,000 was really the first small starter position. But it held it, this, it bounced immediately basically. Went up almost $1. I was up almost 3 grand on it. I really thought this thing would go to 6 650s, 680s or something, mid-high sixes. But then I was looking at other things, and I just wanted to let this thing play out. And I looked back, this thing crapped out, so I stopped out, pretty much break even on those starter shares. Then it bounced a little bit. Let's do it like this. It bounced, and I added some short, small 10,000 shares. I wasn't really excited about this one at all, because I really thought it could very easily bounce back to, well, low mid sixes. So I did 10,000 shares here. VWAP was in this area, so I was thinking about using the VWAP area as my stop. And well, I was right on the gamble. It cracked. I covered most of my shares, or not enough. I've covered only 60%. Should have covered more. Then I added back some here, covered some, and then here late day I added some more. Got stopped out, pretty much break even on those. And I'm holding 3,000 shares overnight short. Oh, this is wrong. This thing should be 65. Okay, I'll save it later. So those were the trades, as you can see. So PTLA, I moved from this account to this account because I wanted to free up buying power. This is my smallest account, and this was the only account I could short DRYS in. So I wanted to free up buying power, and DRYS is not marginable at all. Not overnight, not intraday. So I had to free up buying power in case I would size in on the short. But I never did. I never had more than... I had 15,000 shares short late day, but that's still kind of a small position. Let's see. Yeah, everything else is working. Yeah, OREX. Forgot about that one. So that was my main loser. I've been talking about this one for a while. So it's very annoying. I bought it here. Okay. So I tried to buy it here in the high 340s, like 347, 348, but I had some routing issues, so my order didn't go through. So it took me like 1 or 2 minutes to get it fixed. And by that time the stock was 357. So I bought 10,000 shares at 357. Big volume came in. I was like, there's no way I'm gonna miss this trade. In case it goes, I wanna be there. But I bought it at the dead top. It crapped out. It went red. So I spent a good 30 minutes, an hour trying to get out on pops. Mostly 338, 340 area. Then 30 minutes later, I look back. The stock is at 354. I'm like, come on. And I was thinking, it takes out the highs again. I'll buy it, but it never really took out the highs. It can still have followed through. It still looks good on 60-minute chart. It has this 365 range, so hopefully it can go sideways for a few more days and then maybe break this range. The worst thing that could happen if it goes today, just breaks out and goes. I don't know if I'm gonna be there because the entry day was yesterday, so I'm not gonna chase it today even higher. So yeah, the fact that it went red, that's just very annoying. If it had just stayed green, I would still be in my 10,000 shares, but oh well, it is what it is. Short watch list. AMD had some, well, actually the earnings were pretty mediocre, but they are in a kind of a turnaround situation. They have new graphic chips coming out, and so there's a lot of excitement about their new Ryzen chips. So this one is basically trading on future expectations. Well, every stock is, but the earnings were pretty mediocre. But this thing is up a lot. It's price, the market expects them to show some really good earnings in the next few quarters. And right now it looks like it's gapping down in early pre-market, but I think, you know, if we can go to 13.50, it could be a good intraday short in there. MMYT is very thin. Hopefully can go to 40 before I'll get interested in this one, like really interested. Kara also hopefully can go to low mid 18s today. That would be nice for a potential mean reversion short. It's really up, you know, 6-7 days in a row, pretty much. Tesla is just hopefully can go sideways for another few days, build some kind of a downside range. I'm willing to re-short it. Okay, so my long watch list is really, really long. NAK is it's trading gold, and gold is gapping up. Pretty big actually, pretty big gap up. Nugget, Chainug, they're all gapping up. So these may be, especially Nugget. I think this is gonna be my main watch list. So my main watch for today. Any kind of opening range highs, I'll be very interested in this one. I've had some great success on it before. Now this thing, when this thing gaps up, this thing can have big runs like it did here, and here, and here, and here. You know, it can have some really good follow through, and you can, most of the time there will be like a tight setup intraday, like by the first like opening range highs or any kind of a tight range intraday. So you can many times get a very good risk reward on these things, Chainug and Nugget. And well, it's probably running because the interest rates are expected to be low for a bit more, so they're just speculating on this gold. You know, that gold will be a good investment as long as interest rates are low or whatever. So this NAK is probably gapping up because of gold. This one I won't trade today. I'm just watching it. And again, all of these I'm just looking for breakouts on these. Mostly recent IPOs. A lot of recent IPOs are setting up nicely, and I really like trading in recent IPOs. They can have very good follow through. And also some OTC Mariana stocks. This one looks good. Look at this. Higher lows all the way. And there's a range here, 47-45 area. Stick could really go. HCLP reminds me a little bit about the EMES. I think it's the same sector. I think it's fracking. Also, you know, EMES was beaten down from way down from 2014. Same thing with HCLP. These things ran together back in 2013, 2014, and as you know, EMES broke out nicely. And this one, if it can go sideways another few days, this thing could have build a nice tight setup. Could have a really nice breakout from here. It is a little bit extended, you know, it's almost a year trend straight up, but well, same thing for EMES, and this one still had good follow through, 35% so far or so. So yeah, a lot of recent IPOs. Then I have a lot of stocks that I've set alerts on, mostly like small biotech stocks coming off bottom. I'm gonna go through them, or I'm gonna talk about them in just a few seconds. This is a Mariana stock. It's a paid pump, or it was a paid pump here, but you know, these things can go. Doesn't matter if it's a pump or no. It's can make big moves. This one looks really good. So you know, I missed the long on it here. I was like a few pennies from getting filled. Then I had a good short on this one here. And now it's setting up on the long side very, very nicely. can very easily break down too from this tight range, but I won't play the breakdown, but I will play the breakout if it breaks out. Now, a theme yesterday was that former big runners woke up, led by this PULM. As you know, I was kind of pissed off that it did an offering pre-market on this day. No, sorry, on this day here. It was near 4 in pre-market, and yeah, I was really aiming for a big short on this one, and then it just, they did an offering and the setup was ruined. And yesterday it woke up on huge volume. Made a big move. And hopefully it can extend to 5 or 6 or something today. The only problem is I didn't have borrows on it in any of my accounts. I really hope there will be borrows on it today. I'm gonna try to contact my brokers, see if I can get any borrows. ETRM followed, also former enormous runner. Now this one is a little bit frustrating. I had an alert on it here in the 660s, and the alert triggered. I looked at it, I saw this big volume. I had every opportunity to buy it. And then I had an opportunity here later in the day. It had built higher lows all the way. There was opportunity to buy it here late day too, and I just, I was thinking about it. I didn't do it, and yeah. IDXG, another one, perked up at the close, not as violently as ETRM, but there's probably no trade here today, or there may be, but I just probably pass on it. There's so many other things to look at. And ETRM, I'm also looking for this one on the short side. If it can extend to 10 or something, that would be really nice. Because the secondary runs, they tend to not be as good as the first ones. They usually fade the second or third day. And today will be the second day. So I don't know, mid 9s or 10s or something like that. I'll be looking for a setup. Now Chainug, I've been talking about this one, but I probably will trade the Nugget, because the Nugget is over the 100-day, so it kind of looks better. And if it gets going, can go to 15 or something. If we can find an intraday setup, we can risk, I don't know, 20-30 cents, potentially make $3-4. That's pretty good. IHG is a really good looking gold stock. Now these things are all gonna move together. I haven't really decided yet if I'm only gonna trade Nugget or maybe this IHG too. It just looks so good. Perfect flag. Goro is another one, but it's way thinner, and I probably won't look at this. TBI, another recent former runner, very tight. Had a couple of secondary runs here, pretty good ones. Now it's getting very tight again. Like it breaks this 71-72 cents with volume, can go back to 90 cents, $1 or something, with all of these micro cap biotechs, former runners going. There could be some money flowing into this one. Okay, so those are the watches for today.